Hey guys, welcome to episode 4 of Warhammer 40K, Wrath&Glory, Dark Inquisition. I am Arthur Perkins, and this is APGamingREAL. We're sorry that we missed you last week. It's probably somebody's fault, but I don't even remember who. And it doesn't really matter, because we're here now. What better place than here? What better time than now? Yes, a lot has happened. Of course, there was a release of a particularly interesting game called Fire Emblem Three Houses. I almost said Three Kingdoms just to upset Pondo, but I decided to pass it. Decided at my ignorance. I'm here trying to bait you, and now you're trying to bait me. It's very upsetting. It's very upsetting. That's okay. James is ratting about in chat. Okay. No, it's fine. But I like it better when the rest of the cast betrays you. Sid, let's go ahead and do some intros. Okay. For 1 second, there seems to be a problem. No one can hear you guys. I'm shutting something down. Let's see if it makes a difference. Someone say something.
Something.
All right. There we go. Okay. You didn't get to hear any of Pondo's mockery, but now you get to hear Sid do his intro. Sid, we're going to restart all the way at the beginning. I know you were about 2 minutes in, but
yeah, it was fantastic. It was full of sarcasm and jokes and just raucous, hilarious humor. And now you don't get to hear any of it because technology. That's how that works. So hi, yeah, I'm Sid Alpha. I'm here. I'm alive. It's been a good week. BattleTech was a lot of fun. I found out that UAC 20s are horrifyingly scary. And yeah, lots of work. Got some YouTube. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the games industry news over the past 24 hours. It seems the ESA managed to leak over 2,000 games journalists and YouTubers and Twitch streamers private information, including their addresses, email addresses, phone numbers. Good stuff. I actually have a copy of it. And yeah, that's it. I've done videos. BattleTech was a lot of fun, and I worked out a lot more than I should have today.
nothing else?
No, that's basically it.
Okay.
Nothing I can think of.
No, it's fine. Just normally there's a bit more of a... I mean, you're not... Okay, look. On a scale of cotton-tailed to Ratosaurus, you normally lean more towards the Ratosaurus side. That's all I'm saying.
This is true. But, yeah, you know, it's coming right in off a Thursday. Not much has changed over the course of the past 48 hours, except for that stuff where, you know, I worked out for an hour longer than I should have today. So I'm definitely feeling that. But
that feeling where you can't get your arms above shoulder level and you're just chicken winging
that's
out.
Actually, that's actually pretty good. It's more my legs feel like they're gonna fall off.
All right.
And my feet are killing me.
All right.
Because, you know, everything I do leg work wise, you know, treadmill and stuff is at the maximum incline that my treadmill can do. But yeah.
So that was leg day.
It was leg day. Yes, absolutely. I did still do so. You know, I was a good boy. I did my sit-ups. I did my curls and presses and everything like that. But it was definitely leg day. Can't skip leg day. And if anyone's ever watched Letterkenny, yeah.
Okay. Pondo, speaking of someone who falls pretty close to the cotton-tailed side of the spectrum, let's do your intro.
Hi, I'm Pondo the Mat. Actually, I've been kind of busy.
Really? Why don't you Ratosaurus your intro up? Let's do it.
Well, not Ratosaurus busy.
Tell me about it. Tell me about
Ratosaurus is like the peak.
Mm-hmm. Tell me more about your feelings on Ratosaurus. Let's extend this out.
That's about it. I mean, we somehow have the same ideas, but don't have it completely thought out in different ways. It's a bit peculiar. I don't know how it works out. because apparently he had the same idea as like, how do we use the turrets in the base? And I'm like, can I use the turrets in the base? I have been writing a little bit here and there. Then I get distracted, and then I write a little bit more. Then there's just work. We can suck a little bit. I really got nothing else now. I've lost everything. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to get through the next AC-20 barrage.
We're talking about BattleTech.
Yeah,
You'll be fine. Just eject.
That's next round. Let future Bandito worry about that one.
And I'm also trying to figure out ways that we could immediately split the party when we get back to.
Oh, that'll be very easy to do.
Yeah. I've been splitting the party a lot, and pretty much every game I've been
fond of splitting the party.
You get so much stuff done faster.
You do, but you also run a much higher risk of horribly dying.
Yes. Yeah, it almost was a bad thing for me because I actually was split up from everybody else when we had the base assault. You're muted, Sid.
It's fine. It's totally fine. It all works out in the end.
We're doomed.
So hopefully I find the key to success.
What's the worst that could happen?
Hopefully it's that we figure out the key to success of splitting people up into places where they won't get shot at or are possibly killed.
Well, just every time we split up the party, we have to remember the mantra. One of us is 2 days to retirement. Another one always asks, what's the worst that could happen?
And one person should say, I just started a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got a girl back home. She's pregnant. I told her I'd marry her just as soon as I got back. Boy, I come from agricultural belt. Just a down-home young man. Can't wait to get home. I love baseball and apple pie.
I got the tickets to the next Yankee game.
That's where I'm going to ask my girl to marry me.
Yep. Yeah, we've all seen war movies.
They're letting me go home for Christmas.
The war will be over.
That is the most World War II right there. So they're going to let me go home for Christmas, and then you die right before December 23rd. Fantastic.
Or it's the middle of the show, and they just discharged me.
I just got my papers, and then the shelling on the base starts.
Uh-huh.
That extended episode of MASH. All right.
Which extended episode of MASH they did that? Like,
I mean, there was like a whole episode the whole episode was nothing but it opens with the base is being shelled and people are actively coming in, and it's just them in surgery for a full episode. That's it.
Got enough points to go home, and then as soon as you got to leave, you get in a car accident on the way to the ship.
Well, they did that. It wasn't with Colonel Potter. Was it Blake? Colonel Blake?
I don't know.
It happened
that way.
It happened to Shifty Powers and Band of Brothers.
Yeah, I was gonna say Band of Brothers is where it happens. Right after the war ends, he's just doing an occupation in Germany and gets in a car accident.
Yeah, like he didn't have enough points, and then they held a lottery where his name was the only one in the hat, and then they go to send him home, and he gets in a car accident on the way home, on the way to whatever.
Yeah, they kill the driver in the process.
That's some baby back bullshit right there.
Yeah, I don't think that guy in particular dies, but he definitely gets messed up. And it's like, Jesus. 3 or 4 characters die, stuff like that.
So look, let's talk about the next intro, just in case Pondo's done.
I am done.
James, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing? I'm James, as you said. I've had a really busy fortnight. I had a lot of work stuff on. We had the big sort of national convention for our industry last week, which involved a lot of people getting very drunk. And even though I don't drink, I was sort of taking them out and buying the alcohol for them. So I think that I didn't, but one of my former companies, I heard they spent 30,000 Australian dollars, so probably 20,000 US on just alcohol for customers.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, over 3 days. So
Yeah, but I mean, how much money do they bring in? You know, like, it could be a proportional thing, right?
it's hard to say with these sort of events as well. It's hard to track the income from them versus doing them. But has anyone watched The Boys yet on Amazon Prime?
No, I've been meaning to. It's queued up, but I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, I smashed the whole series in just over a day last weekend. I really enjoyed that one. So that was my whole weekend spent doing that while building and painting my Custodes army. And then pretty much from then it's just we've been rearranging the house, so buying and building IKEA furniture. So I also feel your pain, Sid, not from exercise, but from just crawling over bits of wood, turning Allen keys and screwing in screws.
Does The Boys have Carl Urban in it?
Yeah.
Huh.
With a pretty terrible English accent, but I quite enjoyed it. Actually, I got to also play a game yesterday. I played my friend's Call of Cthulhu derived Nemesis game. So this is my second game of this weekend.
Okay. How is that?
It's good. Yeah, she's running it set in 1997. So most of the game is just us making tropes about life in the 90s. Like we need to find something out. Let's go and ask Jeeves. Or look it up on Alta Vista or something like that. But pull out our 1 megapixel camera to get a photograph of that. But no, it's a good game. She runs a very sort of it's like sort of playing the Supernatural series. Like every sort of session is Monster of the Week, and now we're sort of about 6 or 7 sessions in. It's all starting to tie together now with this sort of overarching plot. It's quite good. But we split the party all the time in that game.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna split the party tonight. We're just gonna do it. We're just gonna do it. You guys, I asked you guys how you want to do it, and you guys were like, I don't know, maybe we should split the party. I was like, what? That's the first thing you're going to? You guys got huge brass ones. That's all I gotta say about that.
Giant brass cart nuts.
Yeah, cart.
I think we said we'd start by discussing it, just to be clear.
I think
well,
we did.
you'll come up with a strategy, I'm sure. Let the cart nuts die, okay? They're never gonna be a thing.
Nope. The cart nuts will live on. I don't care what you say. You can never crush that dream.
I'm gonna take the
very,
cart nuts.
very hard to crush that dream. Is they're made of solid alloy. Just
I'm gonna create a golem whose specific purpose is to destroy all cart nuts, and also to hold rock concerts. There'll be an iron golem. James, you got anything else going on? No, I jumped in there.
No, that's all. It's all it.
Tomic.
Yep, that's unfortunately me. And the reason why we start, yeah,
you're the one that chose that name, so
Yeah. Well, whenever like I get called in the doctor's office and they say my name, and I'm like, unfortunately. Yeah, nothing's really happened since. I mean, I played in a game of 5e on Friday, as I do, and nothing.
No, you're new to 5e, right?
Well, I mean, your game was the first one, but I've played 4 or 5 games since then because our game goes so slowly.
So slowly.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? We play weekly.
We've had some times that we
This is
skipped.
heresy.
I mean, our game progresses because I'm one of those people where like in anything you start at level 1 a couple of times. You're like, all right, fuck this, and then you
want to start at level 3, so
you start
get
at 3 or 5 or whatever. So that's when you whatever. So I've played a couple of games where we started at 4 and 5 just to whatever. But I didn't die, and I saved a man as a warlock, only to have him go comatose and then get killed by some weird tree bird thing. So that was fun. My one redeeming moment, and then the GM took it away from me. It's like, oh well, taught me a lesson. Don't save innocent people. And then
I don't think you should learn that lesson. You should unlearn that lesson.
And then that's pretty much it.
Not a good lesson.
Yeah, you should save innocent.
I don't know. I get burned every time I save innocent people. So kind of I'll let somebody else do it.
Don't save them in Warhammer 40K.
Yeah, don't do that. that's pretty much been about it. And then hopefully soon, well, I forgot to mention Wednesday, but Pondo and I managed to play some Warhammer Total War, which was fun. And by fun, I mean full of technical difficulties, and then just getting screwed by the game.
Yeah, orcs don't have the best start.
No, they don't.
Yeah, I'm having the dwarves come up to my corner and stomping my shit.
And I've got the border empires fucking with me, and then I don't think we're doing terribly. It's just we're just getting RNG thrown at us, which is just not great.
It's a terrible start.
It's not a good start. Even though we're side by side, still not a good start. So we'll probably restart that one. But it's pretty good.
You have to learn to give each other what you need to survive. Together, you'll thrive.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the reference, and I'm not getting it.
Ebony and ivory.
Yeah.
Whilst at Alpha, you need to listen to me. How you watched Psych? How do you not know this?
It was an eternity ago.
All right. Well, there's a Psych movie coming out again, so what you're gonna have to do is rewatch all 6 to 8 seasons of Psych.
I guess I'm gonna have to.
Yeah. And you know what? If you can't find the pineapple in every episode, you have to restart the whole chain.
This is true.
Yeah.
And I'm sure my daughter will be really broken up about this too.
Okay.
She loves Psych.
Hey, Arthur.
Yeah.
Would it offend you if I was to hook up my soundboard to my microphone and play cricket sounds every time one of your jokes drop flat?
Wow. It would, in fact,
just
be
soundboard's gonna die
incredibly
real
offensive.
Oh, shit.
James, the problem would be that there would be nothing but cricket sounds.
I think that's the joke.
I'm sorry.
It's hurtful.
No, don't be sorry, because it's true.
You think that my jokes fall flat too? Oh my god! Yeah, I work really hard on this stuff.
I know we've talked about this many times.
Oh my god! Look, guys, that's it. I'm just gonna go easy mode. It's just gonna be nothing but puns and dad jokes. I'm gonna punish you for making fun of my humor. It will only be the most painful humor from now on. Atomic. No, go ahead.
Did you just declare a pun war? Sorry.
I don't know. I feel like maybe I did. I'm reconsidering it, but maybe I will.
God, Pondo, we're gonna have to run away, man. The dad joke war is gonna start. We're just gonna have to run for cover.
Yeah.
I'm not equipped to deal with this.
I'm not either. I actually do have a little bit of training because Cotton likes puns and dad jokes, and her family likes puns and dad jokes. And I'm caught in the middle, and there's nothing I can do.
I caught in the middle. I'm dad.
Just dig a trench.
Got it. Instantly.
So the first stone has been cast. There we go.
Yeah.
First stone has been cast.
You, sir, cast the first stone, not Pondo. You cast the first stone. I hope that glass house of yours is insurance. That's all I have to say.
God, I wish that asteroid had just gotten a lot closer and just taken us all out, because this is gonna get bad.
Finish your intro.
That's pretty much it. Nothing's really happened since
we're
Wednesday.
Gonna get started playing then. I'm upset. I am upset. Previously on this show, the party returned victorious from platform Parmakiralite, where fought off and managed to bravely injure Orcish war boss. Then was teleported out by his fleet. The cruisers left orbit, disappearing back into the void between stars, where the orcs, will they hide? Will they return? No one knows. 6 days ahead of the cleanup force, the party arrives back on the main planet of... I remember the name. It's fine. I'll get there. Regnum Prime, where the Inquisitor took them to task for their failure to report certain additional, let's call it tertiary information during their previous missions, including leaving an enforcer for dead, which came back to the Inquisitor's desk and upset him greatly. For now, the party has been charged with a particular mission.
Well, 2 different ones.
Several incidents that they have left in their past. The reports of 2 Arbiter who may have helped mutant scum, and the incident at the jailhouse where various individuals who were prepared to undergo confession had a member of Chaos hiding among them with very obvious Chaos sigilry, which should have been easily detected. Our scene begins outside of the Inquisitor's office. There is a armory nearby, and Kalrak, our Space Marine scout, has traded in his bolter rifle for, I believe you're taking a bolt pistol and a Space Marine issue chainsword.
Yep.
He's now walking out, dual wielding, with a cigar in his mouth, going, "Hell, it's about time."
Wrong character. But yeah.
You sure?
I don't know. We'll see.
That's my next character, okay?
Not Tychus.
You will have some choices to make. Your army is returning, but could assuredly use more I mean, can you really have a large enough army? Your stocks are depleted. Sure, you have some ammunition, but you're out of missiles, if I recall correctly, and many of you have found either your armor or weapons to be lacking. And for now,
I mean, my weapons weren't lacking. My ammunition was lacking.
Well, that's questionable. You made some strategic choices, and Antipho has found himself hauling a Orcish war boss's big choppa, I believe it's called.
Yeah, it was a big choppa.
Giant two-handed
big
scrap metal
choppa
weapon.
behind him wherever he goes, like a battle flag of Orcishness. What do you want to do?
I want to see if it'd be possible to trade in the big choppa for a chainsword.
No. If you gather 3 such items, you can trade them in for a point of wealth.
Okay. So I'll stick with the big choppa for now. I do need to try and get additional ammunition though.
Yes, let's do that. We need to get
I don't even know if that is a thing you can do. Like, you get new ammunition. It is?
Yes. Well, you can get. Sorry, you can. Your reloads get refreshed
At the
based
beginning
up
of
to
the
your-
session,
yeah.
yes.
If you want more reloads, you can acquire that, but there is a limit to how many reloads your character can hold without buying things like bandoliers or backpack ammo packs.
I just want to double up on the amount of ammo that I have. Nothing insane.
So you can carry a total of 3 or half your strength, whichever is higher, reloads.
How many do we?
3.
You start with 2 for each weapon you've got, but
Okay.
I mean, on your person at a time, you can carry up to 3 or half your strength.
So that's an additional to your base 2 for each weapon.
No, that's in addition to what's in the weapon. So you automatically refresh to the weapon plus 2 reloads, but you can only carry 3 of them at a time, unless you get a bandolier. A bandolier takes you to. Where is it?
I'll
I
need
know that
to get there then.
Yeah, backpack takes you to 10. Bandolier takes you to 5 total.
How about this? How about we go quiet? Try to acquire you a bandolier.
That'd be helpful. These weapons tend to tear through the ammunition rather quickly.
I think you tear through the
I
ammunition.
was about to say, yeah, it's definitely the weapon's fault. It's not the person holding down the trigger.
So ammunition bandolier lets you carry 2 additional reloads. It is a common item?
Value 2 common.
Value 2. So
I currently have a wealth of 2.
So what's your influence? Sid?
yeah, that's what you start with.
3?
3. So you would need 2 successes on 3 dice to acquire an
How
ammunition
about
bandolier.
I do it. I'll use my power from being an Inquisitor. Well, not Inquisitor, but an acolyte to convince.
Very well. Use your magical inquisitorial powers to get a leather strap.
Arthur, the campaign cards that are on the table, are these?
They're
have
fresh.
these been dealt?
I just
They're fresh,
dealt them right now. Quietly while everyone was doing stuff.
You can also convince them to. Would you like to also get a chain sword and bolter pistol as well? Antipho?
I would not say no.
Okay.
Is there a limit to how many guns you can carry? I feel like Antipho's running pretty high.
I mean,
There is no strict limit. I guess it's a limit of common sense.
I mean,
Okay.
I'd only be carrying like
So you
One
may not
heavy
be able-
weapon, one
know.
rifle, a bolter pistol, which is like a rifle to an average human, I guess.
Remember the movie Sahara
No. Oh, wait, I
Perhaps-
actually do. That's the
when they're like okay,
desert in the middle of nowhere.
and he's just pulling guns out of everywhere.
Is that the one where they're like, it was a Panama? And they're like, no,
Yeah,
it didn't
yeah,
actually
yeah.
take place in Panama.
It's
We
just-
just thought we were in Panama.
We thought we were in Panama. Yeah,
Just be like the mask. You know, just a bazooka out of his pocket. I gotta have a permit. For
tell them to
that.
drop their guns, and he drops like 30, like a dozen or so handguns, a couple of assault rifles.
All right, let's start with
Nice.
this.
Oh,
Let's
the
start
bandolier?
with acquiring the bandolier.
Okay.
So you are attempting this,
Yes.
Hondo. Your guys is an Inquisitorial Acolyte.
Can I aid?
I already get an extra die to it, I believe. Because
So
of-
you get any matching keyword dies, although I don't know that the bandolier has any key.
It's got any, so you don't get a bonus for the first matching keyword. So anything with any is just something you can roll on, but don't get any bonus for.
Okay. All right, so no
Okay, so
additional
I'll get a
keyword purposes. You need to hit a 2 on your influence dice. Do you want to throw any wealth behind this?
You spend wealth after the roll.
I see. Well, you just failed, so
Was
Uh,
that?
So well, you can either wrath point it or you can spend 1 wealth to get the extra success.
spin a wealth.
I was gonna say, can I spend the wealth? Means it is for me.
it says spend wealth or assets before, and what I'm looking at here.
There's a the book is unclear because if you go to the page regarding spending wealth for the influence test,
Yep.
it tells you spend wealth as per the rules on the next page, and the next page says you can spend it after the test is done. So it sort of contradicts itself, and they haven't actually.
Character may
clarified
permanently expend for additional icons for an influence test. Reduce character spent. Oh, if it's spent this way, it is spent after the initial test. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You're spending a point of wealth then, Lycus?
No, just reroll fails.
Okay. I will take your...
If we go into combat, then so be it. Okay.
That's a
You're good.
success.
All right. You acquire 1 ammunition bandolier.
Excellent.
So, Antipho, you now have 2 additional reloads on top of the 2 that you have for each of your weapons.
All right. And then
What's next?
I'd like to acquire a sword. I can do that with 4 dice because I've got 2 matching keywords.
What kind of sword? Just literally just a sword.
Sword. Yep. Pointy
Okay.
one, sharp on the sides.
And what are
you
your
don't care
matching
if it's
keywords?
Imperium or not?
Plenty
So-
other guy.
So my question, Arthur, is because it's got Eldari as one of the keywords for it, and it's also got any. So
Sure.
I'd say this is probably something I acquired before I separated from the rest of the Eldar when we left the
Absolutely.
other planet. Yeah. So I just need 2 successes on 4 dice. That is not enough, so I will. Or rather, I'm gonna spend a wealth to get that.
Okay.
Yep.
You do some trading on board your ship. My gosh, how come I cannot remember this?
Eternal Dancer, I think it was.
Yes. Eternal Dancer. My notes are spread out very far. Yeah, you spread some favors around on the Eternal Dancer, and you managed to come up with one of these very beautiful Eldari masterworks. It'd be a real shame if you lost this thing. I mean, I'm not saying it's made of wraithbone or anything, but, you know. It's not like they just make these in a day, right? Someone probably poured their masterwork craft into it. All right. Anyone else buying anything?
We do missiles.
Yes. Do those reset as well? The missiles, or do we actually get more missiles?
Missiles count as an individual. Like missiles are like grenades, where they're their own thing.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
What particular missiles do we want? Crack missiles?
Yeah.
They are 6 uncommons, so you need 8 successes to
Well,
get
shit.
those.
Yeah.
And I'll throw in my extra die to get me 5 dice to use.
I mean, this will still be basically an impossible test for you.
Yeah.
8 6s on 5 dice. Yeah, it'd be really difficult.
You're like, yeah, you just need to get a bunch of 6s. Yeah, if I just hit a 6 on every die, I'll succeed at
I
this.
mean, I would just need at least a 6 on 3 dice, and then just
succeed on everything else. Yes. Yeah.
What? How about crack grenades?
What about them?
Crack grenades are 4 uncommon.
Yeah, so they need 6
6.
successes.
Probably get crack grenades.
They'd work.
For some reason, none of my stuff's saved from
What do you
last time.
You mean none of your stuff saved?
Well, I don't have the axe written down, and I also don't have the
Written down on what?
on my sheet.
What sheet? You mean in the game?
No, my sheet here didn't save.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. But you
And
do
it's
have
not
the
on-
axe.
Yeah, I do have the axe. I also have the grenade that he gave me last
Sure.
session.
Yeah.
I do not get the grenade.
So you're so you were rolling for the grenade.
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
got
not
4
enough.
successes, not 6.
What do you want to do?
Just not a whole lot we can do.
Yeah, not gonna.
Could re-roll.
I'm
You don't
thinking
need
about
that
it.
glory.
Don't
Come
forget,
on.
once per scene, you can also add +1 for your Inquisitorial ability or Acolyte ability.
That's what I already did that. Because I roll 4 dice initially, and I do.
+1
I
dice.
gave myself
Okay.
+1, so I only have 4 successes on that. I can't think of anything else that we need.
What is
Well, with 4, you could spend your 2 wealth. That'd be it to get you to 6.
what is
That would give me 1 grenade, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Is that for a crack grenade?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm,
I don't know if a single grenade is worth 2 wealth.
No, it's not.
No.
I got a missile launcher and 2 missiles for 2 wealth.
Yeah.
So
How about armor? Is there? I think we're probably fine on armor. I'm fine. I don't think I can get. I think the only thing up from that my armor is carapace armor, and that would look weird. Not very covert. Anything else that anybody else wants?
well, you did mention a chainsword and a bolt pistol.
Yeah, I could.
So
try
you're
for
not
that.
getting the crack grenade then?
no.
Just to understand. All right, yeah, you keep running up against these administratum folk at the departamento, and they're just like, yeah, right, Acolyte, of course, I'll make sure to process that paperwork immediately. And then he shuffles it halfway into a stack of papers, like picks up a sandwich and starts eating it while looking. Crumbs are spilling down onto the parchments.
So disrespectful of the emperor's bookkeeping.
I will remember this. What is your name?
The
I'll
name
check
is,
back tomorrow and make sure I have it.
of course, Acolyte.
I hope the paper will be done by tomorrow.
So does everyone else whose paperwork is in here.
Very well.
The paperwork will be completed when the Emperor wills it.
Do you have a bolter and chainsword that I could also get?
He just starts like, he's just like, maybe. Such weapons are rare and sought after by many, from the Adepta Astartes to the Adepta Sororita.
Indeed. I think just Lycus is getting a little annoyed at this point.
Okay, I mean, a bolt pistol is going to be 4 uncommon, so it'll be a 6 again.
And seven for a chainsword.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
These
they're
are
five,
not-
five
these are-
uncommon.
Yeah, these are
Just
weapons for people who are above your pay grade.
I don't
Sergeants
get that
use this sort of stuff.
anymore.
Well, it doesn't hurt to check.
Do I keep that +1?
It can hurt to check, actually.
No, it's 1 interaction per scene. So, we can walk away, go do something, come back and shop again.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. Okay. You're shopping now. You've made that choice. You've made the thrilling choice for the audience to open by begging for scraps.
Yes. All right. I'll try for the I don't know what I'm trying for. The bolt pistol. Bolt pistol.
Sure. You need 6.
Yeah.
You have 5.
Damn it.
Oh, sorry, you have 4.
That one's not included because I lost the interaction.
So we need
Could
2.
spend 2 wealth. Do you even have 2 wealth left?
I have 2 wealth.
I mean, he's the one making the roll. He's the one that can spend it.
Yeah, but I could.
You
say,
want
like,
you want to spend your wealth? You do it on your roll, my friend.
Yeah, this is why assets are handy, because assets you can give to other players to use, but wealth you
Yes.
can only use for your own rolls.
Oh,
You can
gotcha.
turn the axe and 2 other things into an asset to do.
You can spend an asset in place of a wealth on a roll. So
Yes.
1 asset equals 1 wealth on a roll, but to get a wealth from it, you need 3. Yeah.
We'll come back later for another episode, probably.
He just looks at you and says, "Another episode."
Don't worry about it.
Reality TV show.
He straightens his uniform and brushes some crumbs off and says, "Right." He starts making a note next to him, and is like writing down your general physical description.
What are you doing?
Just making a note.
What kind of note?
A writ of inquisition for the Inquisitor to just check up on your behavior. Some of the things you've been saying, some of the things you've been doing here are making me nervous. It is the duty of all loyal Imperial citizens to report heresy when they find it.
Are you saying that I'm showing signs of heresy?
Yes.
Really?
As trying to, acquire weapons. This guy's
Talking about episodes, wanting to acquire, Space Marine issue bolt pistols and crack missiles. What do you even need this equipment for, Acolyte?
Here's a question: could I spend my card to add 2
I was
success?
going to ask that one, yeah.
What is your card? Good
Battle
friend.
Brothers. Brothers, war calls you. Will you answer? Make a brief statement about teamwork, unity, or brotherhood. Play to add 2 icons to another player's test.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Why don't you walk out from behind Lycus and make a brief statement about unity to Tychus, the Imperial Clerk?
Tychus, you have to understand, we were recently in a battle against a war chief, where I stood in front of my brothers protecting them against the might of this gigantic orc. And this war axe that you see behind you was what nearly felled me. If I had a proper inquisitorial weapon, I would have been able to better defend my brothers. I would have been able to stand beside them, because the ammunition that I had for my volley gun was insufficient to the task, unfortunately.
He's nodding his head. He says, "That is the least heretical thing I've heard from the four of you so far."
I mean, bolt pistols aren't really Space Marine issue.
I've said nothing.
I mean, he's looking right at you, and you're clearly an alien. Your very presence in this hall of the
It's like,
Inquisition.
isn't your very existence heretical?
Look, you better just hope there's no Death Watch to walk by, okay? That's all I'm saying. He enters some keystrokes into some sort of terminal, and then stands up. He returns. There are 4 servo skulls carrying a bolt pistol behind him, hovering at great consternation to themselves, clutching to this bolt pistol, and they gently lower it onto the desk in front of him. He finishes parchmentum and slides it over and says, "Sign here."
I will sign.
You are responsible for this weapon in the Emperor's name. Do not misuse it.
I'm an acolyte. Of course I know.
I'm keeping an eye on you, Lycus
I'm keeping an eye on you.
Then all is as it should be within the Inquisition.
An inquisitional eye.
Wait, is this guy in
I mean, he's inside a hidden Inquisitorial fortress, handling munitions. So yes,
Good. We'll be leaving now.
your heresies will be noted, Acolyte.
So are yours.
Then all is as it should be. He goes back to eating his sandwich and scrolling through this paperwork.
I like to imagine that nothing ever gets done in this fortress because everyone's so paranoid. They're just stopping every 5 seconds to write down the shit that everyone else is doing.
Yeah, that sounds exactly like the Warhammer 40K universe. All right, you've acquired 1 sword and 1 bolt pistol with ammunition, and 1 ammunition bandolier with 2 random ammunitions in it. What would you like to do next?
Follow report on the guy.
Sure, absolutely.
Do that.
What are you reporting him for?
Gross dereliction of duty.
He did ask a lot of questions about what you were going to use the gear for.
Obstruction of the Emperor's justice.
Yes, and obstruction of the Emperor's justice.
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and make an investigation roll?
Oh, okay.
Can I aid with that?
You'll have to roll and meet that criteria, right? Your aid doesn't just give him a die. You have to make the roll yourself, and then your successes give him extra dice.
Your 6s give him
yes.
extra dice, yeah.
1, 2, 3. You have at least 5, so you succeed. 6, 7. So you could shift for glory. There's already one in there from Sid's card. Or you could try to, ruin this guy's life some more.
I want to ruin this guy's life some more.
Okay.
I mean, I did roll.
Did you succeed on 5?
5 successes? No, I got 4.
No. Then, yeah. As you are attempting to fill out the paperwork, Lycus, Antifo's leaning over your shoulder and just saying words that do not appear in the Lex Imperialis.
Strategery.
Would you stop? You're not helping at all.
Several minutes later, you finish
the turkey
filing.
in a sandwich was too moist.
What?
You finish filing the report and handing it to Tychus' supervisor. And the man goes, "I see. In this part's asking too many questions inside an Inquisitorial fortress. It's dangerous. I will have the man dealt with myself. We will put him to the rack and see where his loyalties lie."
Thank you.
So he opens a Vox and says, "Tychus, I will see you in my office shortly. Prepare yourself for the most exquisite pain." Tychus is just at once. You leave the senior departmento's office, secure in your knowledge that your enemies will suffer for their petty grievances.
Lord Acolyte,
Yes.
that man seemed very disinclined to assist you, and now you have submitted him for torture. Will he be more inclined to assist you in the future or less?
It depends if he makes it out of this alive or not.
His replacement will know better.
His replacement would be more.
It's a questionnaire. Will he be more loyal to the Emperor or less? Judge that on a scale from 1 to 10.
It just strikes me as odd that everybody in this building, which appears to have the same goal, is so adversarial.
Others tend to slow down the process of bringing justice, like the Tychus, the gentleman there. He's of no help at all and asks too many questions. So he's been dealt with. Anyway, we should get back to our normal task that we should be doing. We could go to investigate the gelling system where all the...
Well, didn't he need to get rockets?
We already tried to get missiles. We can't. They're too expensive.
Yeah, it's... we need like 8 successes.
You simply are not authorized to use such resources on behalf of the Emperor's justice.
Yeah. Perhaps the next person will be more forthcoming.
I assure you that that will not be true, but you may believe it in character.
How do we increase our influence?
I think it has something to do with our...
Increase your fellowship. Or buy better clothes. Better clothes actually increase your influence tests.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind for the future. Now, we could either go down into the hive and investigate the two custodies. Yes, the custodies that seem to be letting the mutates.
The Arbites. If they were custodians, we'd have an entirely different set of problems.
Not that, yes. Or we can go investigate whoever let the chaos influenced Sister of Battle to the jail.
That seems to me to be a bit more of a pressing concern.
Indeed. Now, we could either...
Almost as pressing as finding out what the stats are with my new toy.
Indeed. Looks into the camera.
Do you have orders, Lord Acolyte, for us?
Either you all can either go with me, for I do not see that we need more people to go up there. Perhaps I would like one other person to go with me in case someone of the wrong influences there, letting the people influenced by chaos in. Other than that, you all can do what you wish. Maybe do more recruiting for our military. I know I do need to eventually go into to get more because I've lost some of my force. Though more force for each ourselves wouldn't hurt at all either.
So should we go down Hive and investigate the other issue, or are we looking for more equipment for the army?
I'd say we look for more equipment for the army.
Otto's like, we'll do everything. I don't really have a priority order. Leadership is not my key stat. Just go where you want. Do whatever you want. We don't really have a thing.
One of you can go with me to go visit the jail. The other two can go out and try to bring more forces to our army. I'm not too concerned about whoever is letting the mutates in at the moment.
I'll go with the Acolyte.
Excellent.
Heresy cannot be allowed to live.
That means the other two will go out and try to build our forces.
This man tried to bribe me. Everyone tries to bribe Antipho. I don't know what it is. It's just weird coincidence.
So,
And being sure to record any mishaps that happen. I have a feeling that the Inquisitor is getting really upset. And it's not great what happens when an Inquisitor gets really upset.
Exterminatus is the answer to that.
Yes.
Have you ever observed him to not be upset? Perhaps that's just his standard state.
It's a job.
No, it's if he's upset, we'd be dead.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
He's displeased, not upset yet. Upset, you would imply torture and probably kill. No.
Which story shall we follow? Group will we go with? First.
I think Sid's trying to figure out his stats for his weapon real quick, so...
How hard can it be to hit Control F bolt pistol?
I'm
mocking. It's not you, Sid. I'm mocking Pondo.
I Control F bolter pistol, and it came up with 0 results. And I was like, what?
No, that's not for you.
I found the page though. It's on page 278.
But a pistol that fires bolters is a very 40k thing, though.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing that would be capable of doing that would be like an Imperial Knight.
A pistol firing bolters that fires bolts.
No.
So we can either start with one of the two, either Antipho and really having trouble saying your name.
Eshairr.
Eshairr.
If you want to use another word, that's fine.
You know.
Esh. How about Esh?
If that's easy for your tongue, then Esh is fine.
Okay.
You pathetic mortal tongue.
Take that as an insult.
My race was ancient when you Monkey crawled off of your world. But
That's
fine,
fine.
call me Esh.
Even the Space Marines shit on normal humans, so it's fine.
All right. I don't know who should start with first.
Let's go to the prison first.
Let's go to the prison first. Okay.
Sorry, which prison are you going to? Going to the
The one we're
prison
supposed to
inside
investigate.
Well, I mean, the Ministorum prison?
Is
The
there
one that you were at before.
Yeah, the one I was at
Yes.
before.
Okay, you return to the Ministorum chapel that you traveled to before. Instead of going in the back way, you enter through the front governmental entrance where everyone comes in for worship. It appears that something has happened outside. There are 2 enforcers holding back a small crowd, and are more or less doing a very poor job of dispersing them. An arbiter in the background is watching what's happening and is starting to take down everyone's name. You can see him just speaking to a servo skull and scribing down the identities of everyone at this incident. Above the main entrance, there is the name of this particular chapel, which is "The Will Shall Not Erode in the Face of Temptation," which has been painstakingly scribed in stone on an edifice hanging on the front end of the church. When you go in, there are numerous skulls, depictions of imperial iconography. A Ministorum preacher is standing before a large depiction of the Emperor. There's blood all over the floor in front of him, and he turns and says, "Oh my! Well, no, I recognize you. Where do I know you from?"
I do not know. I was here previously, maybe.
Yeah, that's it. You were here previously. Sorry, I don't place the name. How did you get past the guards outside?
I have clearance.
Turns and looks at the Astartes standing behind him.
He's my clearance.
I don't understand.
I am the Brute Squad.
Previously, there was a incident where there was a battle sister who was influenced by chaos that was left into the prison.
Oh, yes, now I remember. You're the Inquisitorial agents. Yes, of course. My apologies.
I was the one that fixed your mishap.
But yeah, yes. Well, the mishaps are all we have around here. It seems lately. What can the Ministorum do to aid the Inquisition?
Primarily, I want a record of everyone who was in charge of screening the people that went into that jail. I want to know who was the one that let in the one's battle sister.
We have a resident preacher who's in training to become a drill abbot for the local progenum. I believe he was in charge of the confession of those young women and the Ministorum officer who you executed. Justly, of course, they were all heretics. Sure.
Of course.
The record reflects such.
Where is he now?
Who can say where a preacher will go? He has authority to go anywhere on the planet and speak to people, turn the tide against the dark forces that surround us. I can give you his Vox if you would like to contact him, but he may be in the midst of great works.
Yes, give me his information. I will call him. I want him here as soon as he possibly can.
Agent, I have an incident myself that might require your... He glances over at the Space Marine standing behind you. Special talents.
What incident is this?
I believe there might be dark heresy afoot. The likes that I have not personally encountered in many years.
As soon as he says heresy afoot, just Kalrak's grip onto the pommel of his chainsword, you just hear his gloves kind of just like creak a little bit as he tightens up.
Every day for the last 4 days.
I check my ammo.
I have come in to open the chapel, and the shrine has been not defaced, but as you can see, someone has poured blood on the floor before it, and he steps aside, and there's a collection of 4 human skulls that have been, 3 of them hold a 4th on top. It is like this every morning. The skulls are fresh. Sometimes one of them might still be warm. And yet they are meticulously cleaned. The blood itself is also kept warm and fresh. I've seen such works before, and it is difficult to differentiate. It may simply be a misguided death cultist. And if so, we would love to recruit them, death cultists, and serve in the sororitas with some great renown. But should it be a cultist of the Lord of Skulls, there may be a growing force of chaos within my influence, and it would not do to allow this to go uninvestigated. But I must remain here and guide the hearts of the people past these incidents. They need faith to bolster them in this time where we are cut off from Holy Terra. I could ask of you to use your inquisitorial credentials to investigate this incident. I'm sure the Emperor himself would look kindly towards your influences.
All right. Who is here during the nights where this perpetrator may be coming in?
They have been coming in for the last 4 nights. Normally we leave the chapel empty at night. Occasionally we have a security servitor do sweeps every few hours in order to make sure that there are no ruffians about.
Do they have records of any videos?
The security servitor could play back its memories, I'm sure, if you were to. But we have looked through such things, and I have not been able to determine anything in particular.
Might I make a suggestion? Acolyte.
Yes.
Perhaps what we should do is just, tonight of all nights, is just wait and see. Perhaps stake out an area and wait for the perpetrator to make himself known.
That was my initial plan.
Catch him red-handed, so to speak.
That was my initial plan. I was wanting to see if we get any more information on this perpetrator.
I'll look around the room. Do I notice any cameras or?
I guess Antipho suddenly appears
here.
behind you.
Oh, I'm not there.
There's a
Okay.
popping
No,
noise.
it's just me and the Pondo right now.
Well,
You're
never
going
mind.
to see if you can get more forces pulled in for our army.
I still look around to see if I notice any cameras.
That's just good practice. Cameras,
Good practice.
exits, potential threats.
Meanwhile,
I'm 2 days to retirement. You know.
back at the church.
I'll look through your footage of your servers, see what I can
Servitor.
find.
Servitors.
You had it right the first time.
Sorry. Servitors, I'll see if I can find anything else that you have not. I'll also look around and see if there's any sort of footprints that may be still left behind if you haven't cleaned any sort of the premises since then.
Priest, are there any secondary entrances to the building other than the main doors?
There are. You entered through one previously.
Yes, I
Normally,
entered.
we would allow open access through landing door, where we allow craft to come in, and also there is a back door from which I enter every morning. Several other staff and some of the progena may come in through that entrance throughout the day.
Very well. I'm going to order you to don't change anything that you do. Don't lock any doors that you wouldn't normally lock. Just keep the illusion that everything is as normal. We'll try and catch this perpetrator in the act.
Very well. I am at your disposal.
Very well. I believe there's a flock for you to attend to outside. Leave us to do our work.
Suppose it would do well. Is there any chance I could get this cleaned up at some point soon? I have several progena waiting on hand.
We will give us a short amount of time to investigate it thoroughly, and then you'll be free to clean the premises.
Very well.
He did say there was a crowd outside that was like being rowdy.
Yeah,
right?
there's only a couple people,
Yeah.
but he's heading out there now.
Yeah.
And he's like setting up a vox caster. And begins going into a sermon about the Emperor's will and how it relates to civil order. How important it is for people to simply obey without question.
Yeah. I want to invest. I want to look at this. The skulls and the blood on the floor.
Okay.
I'll look at it as well.
Are you both working together? Is one of you aiding the other?
I'll look at them primarily and see.
So your investigation's probably a lot higher than mine is.
Yeah, probably. I don't know what your investigation
Is there anything
It's only
specific
two.
that the two of you are looking for?
How I kind of want to see how the skulls and the blood are arranged. If there's any like symbols, markings, like, you know, is it ritualistic? Is it just kind of like what's special about it other than obviously just being flint, skulls, and blood on the floor? Is kind of what and I'll kind of just, I mean, Pondo can do it, but I'm just spitballing out of character here.
Sure. Let's make that roll for you. Your investigation seems to be a 3.
Yeah, it's not good.
Can I aid?
You can, but he's looking to hit a 5.
I'm trying to look and see.
I mean, I just roll my investigation and try to get a 5. Is that how it works?
Well, then
Yes?
calm down. We'll get over to you in a minute then.
Okay. Well, I was wanting to aid him.
So you don't want to do your own investigation then?
Oh, okay. Well, I'll do my own investigation.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like,
Okay.
you might be looking for something different than him. He's looking for ritualistic signs.
Yeah, well, what I'm trying to do is I was actually going to I want to see if the blood is human or not. Or if
that is a
blood.
Medicaid test, and that's a hell of a lot.
Well, I was gonna say it's because if I can apply one of the Sturdy's implants, because I was trying to see Sturdy's can do a thing where they can taste blood and flesh and all that other garbage and get clean data from it, but.
So in Wrath and Glory, that just translates to extra dice if the GM believes that it fits the situation.
Yeah, I was just trying to look it up, and I can't remember what page it's on. Because I don't remember the exact
Sure,
organ.
that's fine. I'll give you an extra die towards it. It's a Medicaid test. You need a 2, so you have 4 dice towards it.
Cool. Right, so...
You reach down, you tip your finger in, you take a little...
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's a complication, sir.
God damn it.
It's called the Amorphagia, by the way.
Yeah. What page is that on?
97.
97. Okay, so I had the wrong page.
Okay. I have an idea for what I want your complication to be, but...
Oh, great.
I'm gonna look it up.
You destroyed the ritual completely. Destroy all the evidence that I was going to look at.
You just gave yourself an STD.
Well, that'd have to be one hell of an STD, and tell you what.
Space Marine STDs.
Space Marine STD.
I am not a member of the Emperor's Children.
I'm gonna need you to make a toughness test.
Okay. Let's see. So that's the toughness of 5.
How'd you do?
Not well.
I mean, how well is not well?
2 successes.
Well, my friend, let me tell you something.
Let me tell you about the wonderful gift that is syphilis.
So you start feeling ill immediately, and you feel your preomnor implant enable itself. Even this thing begins straining against the poison in the blood. So the blood is human, and they have been so direly poisoned that even a apprentice Space Marines implant designed to stop poisons is having trouble dealing with it.
That's pretty serious poison then. I'm gonna relay this information to his name escapes me, the Acolyte at the moment.
So you're starting to, I mean, based on this, I feel like it would, you failed the test, just to be clear.
Yeah.
But it would be weird for you to be poisoned as a Space Marine, so you're just feeling lethargic and a little tired, a little dizzy as a result, as your preomnor attempts to catch up. So you're passing this information on to the Acolyte. Is he also...
I'm gonna tell him that this blood is poisoned. It's human, but it's poison because I'm feeling some effects.
Lycus, what would you like to do?
Interesting. I'm going to investigate, see if there's any sort of either fingerprints or footprints.
Okay.
To see by particular size or...
Investigation difficulty 3.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 successes.
You can bump 2 of those up. Either pick up some glory or additional details.
I'll do one for details, one for glory.
Okay. Yes, someone has kneeled in this blood. So it appears to you that someone poured blood, a lot of blood, out onto the floor, then knelt down and assembled the skulls in it, so only the bottom of the skulls has, like, touched any blood. You do see the marks where someone has kneeled down in the blood before it started coagulating and setting. Based on the size and shape, it looks like they were relatively average human sized, wearing some sort of robe. You do collect in the bloody footprints that walk several feet towards a column, and then it disappears, right? It's as if they walk towards a column between some pews and then just vanished. At the base of that column, you find some extremely smelly chemical residue. It almost smells, it reminds you of what the mutants were working on back in mutant rat folk land. That kind of chemical runoff.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of what we threw the enforcer body into.
Yes.
Kind of look around, see if there's like some sort of hatch or door.
You find nothing like that based on your investigation roll. Did someone throw the glory in already?
I did.
Okay, just making sure before I double up.
I mean, you can double up, it's fine.
No.
Quick question
Okay.
about that.
Yeah.
My card said add 2 icons to another player's test, add 1 glory.
I added that
Is that
already.
one or the other, or
No, it's both.
You both.
That's what your first glory was.
okay?
Is there some sort of... Would I know if that would, like, something like that could coalesce with something with the death cultist? Or something among the chaos sort of realm?
You could make a test, a scholar test.
Okay. One, two, three, four, 5.
Okay. Do you want to bump up one of those?
I'll bump up 1 to get more information.
Okay. So this could still be an act of corn. There's nothing discounting that. The chemicals don't have any particular connection to corn. Perhaps to chaos, maybe if they were part of what mutated the people. Or it could be as simple as whoever this person was walked near that factory's runoff and got their boots in it, right? Maybe they work there, maybe they do business near there, something along those lines. In fact, it's, you know, it's several levels down, but it's not too far from this particular location.
I mean, if it's for, but I mean, like Underhive stuff like that, it's a pretty common
Situation,
just,
yeah.
Well, it's just the further down you go, I mean, chemical runoff, is just, all that stuff just collects towards the bottom of any large.
Indeed.
So it doesn't really mean it's.
So you don't have anything that breaks you in either direction on this.
Right.
Death Cult definitely still high in the running. Corn also still high in the running. The blood and skulls is very Cornish, so
Yeah.
it's literally his whole thing.
Blood for the blood.
Cornate.
gods.
Well, the Imperium is also like essentially
Cornate. Okay,
powered
I'm
by
gonna still call it
skulls.
Cornish because I like the words Cornish berserkers.
Yeah. Well.
Like Cornish pastries.
Yeah, Cornish game hen. You know,
Game hen,
Cornish
yeah.
beef.
Cornish
No one
game
calls
hen.
it cornate beef. Okay. That would be what you would call a wall of berserkers running towards you, but
I'm just
everyone
thinking of
refuses
Cornish-
to laugh at
Corn-
that.
Cornish beef.
Maybe I
longs
got a
and,
little bit of a laugh from Sid. I'll take that. Fuck the rest of you. Okay? Let's cut sideways to Team Eshairr and Antipho. I don't know that the two of you have worked together very much in the past.
No,
Am I wrong?
not at all. Not really.
Yeah, so what's it like when the other team departs and the two of you are standing outside of the Departamento Munitorum's sub-office within the hidden Inquisitorial fortress?
I sort of kicked the dirt a little and then turned to Antipho.
Oh, there's no dirt here. Everything is beautiful, perfect, and pristine. You can kick the nice.
Like, I'm just not even facing it. I'm just munching on a sandwich that I got from somewhere, and then I just like hold out another one.
But the real question is your turkey too moist?
The real question is that even a thing that can happen? You just take the turkey, you dip it into a vat of hot gravy, you pull it out, and you eat it like that.
I mean, they're
Like a
obviously
man.
zucchini sandwiches.
Zucchini sandwich? Is that what you're in on? Okay.
Lord Scion, have you given any thoughts to what forces you would add to your army?
This is James asking.
More tanks.
Should we just go to the same place you got the last one then?
I don't know if they have any more. It's worth a look. What about you?
Does the Adeptus Mechanicus have more tanks? Let me think about that.
I don't anticipate finding many Eldari forces on this world to recruit right now. Perhaps it's best if I just assist you in whatever capacity I actually can.
Well then, let's go see a man about a tank. Who knows? Maybe someone will try and bribe me again.
So you're heading over to another departmento, the same vehicle lot?
Yeah, tanks are us.
You arrive outside of the particular lot. Obviously a new individual has taken up a post there. He's wearing his uniform, cap, and outfit perfectly. He's got whatever passes for the Warhammer 40K version of a clipboard and pen, and is stopping people that
Data slate.
Yeah, he's stopping anybody trying to get in and like inquiring about them and then turning them away. Pretty much everybody that's going up. You see a Adeptus Mechanicus going up, asking about a Imperial Knight reinforcement, and the man has a short conversation with them, and there are screeching blasts of binary as the Mechanicus leaves. Tech priest without any particular reinforcement. When your time to reach the front of the line comes up, the man says, "Can I get your name and business, please, from the two of you?"
Yes, Antipho Renaud, and my business is... What is my business? Like, out of character. Do I just say...
I don't know. What did you come here to do? You're like, I would like one tank, please.
Your finest piece of armor reinforcement, please.
Am I like with Inquisitor so-and-so, or...
You could certainly say that. You could.
Yeah, but would that be a good idea?
That is for you to decide how down low key you guys have been playing your inquisitorial influence. For you guys have been pretty open about it so far.
Well, we're also in an inquisitorial like fortress, right?
Not now. You are out in the main city now.
Yeah, I wouldn't name drop them.
Excuse me. One moment, please. He turns and gets on a Vox and says, "Yes, I'm going to require security forces at my location immediately. Yes, there's been a paperwork snafu. Yes. And what is your name?" As he turns to Eshairr.
Just Esh. I work with him.
I see. I'm going to need the two of you to step aside for a moment so we can continue the line.
Might I inquire as to what is going on here?
There's been some trouble processing your paperwork.
Why is that?
Because when I search Imperial records for your name, you are listed as being deceased.
Oh, that! Well...
I'm sure you can explain it to the enforcers. They are on their way to pick you up. Yes, I've been a recipient of this scam before. attempting to get into my vehicle lot, pretending to be a dead man. Yes.
Scam, you say?
Yes.
Fascinating.
Indeed. As I said, could you step aside, please?
Oh, yeah. I'll be right over here.
How accommodating. Normally I would have to have a servitor come out and dismantle you.
Well, I don't want to start being troublesome when this is just a simple misunderstanding.
Fascinating. There is a high likelihood that when the enforcers come, they may be able to clear this mistake up. Normally, scam artists would cause issue.
There's no need for any issue to be caused, as I am who I say I am.
If you will excuse me, I must turn my attention to the Emperor's work.
Oh, by all means.
So he turns and waves the next person in line forward, and they're just like, look, my unit needs a new Chimera now. We lost a Chimera back there on the other planet. We need a new one. He's like, it's a Chimera, first off. And second off, I'm going to need your paperwork. You think that the Emperor just has chimeras falling off the back of the battle wagon?
I'm going to lean in close and whisper, Chimera.
To who? To me or to him?
To him.
What is that? That guy asking for the chimera? Is he from like Mississippi Prime, or like what planet's he from?
Mississippi Prime.
Mississippi Prime. After a few minutes, 2 enforcers roll up in a carriage. So they have on uniforms indicating that these are not locals. These people are off-planeters, maybe from another planet in the sector. Maybe somehow they're long-lived enough that they came from another sector. But they're not from this world. But they do bear the livery, the patch of the local planetary governor, Colm Humes. They come over wielding combat shotguns. Just kind of amble. They have adopted an attitude of congeniality towards themselves. One of them lowers their combat visor and says, "Greetings, citizens. I understand that there's a problem with your paperwork."
Yes, apparently for some reason the system is registering me as deceased.
Indeed.
Like
according to our records, several arbitres visited this very location almost 3 weeks ago and shot you dead.
It's probably a case of mistaken identity.
Yeah. Arbitres confirmed it themselves. A passing Imperial Guardsman, in fact, a military Tempestus of high standing, confirmed it himself.
They probably got the name switched in the paperwork.
I see. Do you have anyone who can vouch for you? Friends? Family?
Just point to the Eldar next to me, and yes, actually, you have an Acolyte. Heck is Bandito's what? Not Bandito.
Wrong show. Lycus.
Lycus Centauro would be able to. Inquisitorial Acolyte.
So sorry, I just want to understand. You pointed at Eshairr and said Pondo's character's name.
No.
Just want to be okay. Let's reverse time, and you tell me how you want to handle this.
Okay. Say yes. Inquisitorial Acolyte Lycus Centauro will be able to.
All right. When you say Inquisitorial Acolyte, like the whole area starts to hush. People are just like, what? And the second enforcer just says, the Inquisition isn't real, friend. All right, put your hands behind your back.
Oh, would you like his comm ID?
He starts pulling out binders. He's just like, put your hands behind your back. You too, miss.
I look expectantly at the Scion.
Probably
looking for some advice.
It's just going to set a precedent where every time Antipho wants to go somewhere, we're going to send the Astartes to babysit him to get him out of trouble.
Let's play nice for now. This is just going to be difficult until this gets cleared up.
Okay. They stick you both in the back of the carriage, and they call. So while you're leaning down smelling the chemical runoff, looking at Kalrak going, like leaning over, getting ready to throw up right into the blood.
That's just, I think Lycus there is like, there, just let it out.
A young girl comes over with like a hand phone on a line. She's just like, "There's a Vox for you, Acolyte."
Oh, for me, thank you. So you take the Vox, like, yes. Hello?
Yes. This is the enforcement unit XP-115. You've been asked to confirm identity. Can you please provide us with your own identity first, please? We've been told that you are a Inquisitorial Acolyte.
Like a Centauro.
I understand. Allow me to run the records. And you hear like and you hit the second guy who's like off the phone is just like, "What do you mean the file's redacted? Above our clearance. We work for the planetary governor." The first guy comes back and says, "My apologies, Acolyte. Never encountered this situation before. I have a Antipho Renato here, attempting to prove that he is not dead."
Just from in the background, you hear Renatus, idiot.
Yes, he is not. Why is he in jail? He is not dead.
Our records indicated otherwise. We'll
Well, then there's something wrong with the paperwork.
Yes, we will resolve the paperwork issue at present. Our apologies, Acolyte.
Good. Now make sure when you're release him, send him down to the so-and-so district where I am.
We will take him there at once.
Thank you.
So they throw the keys for your binders back, right? For the two of you to unlock yourselves. And the senior of the two enforcers says, "We've been ordered to take you over to the Ministorum Chapel. Please place your safety restraints on."
Gentlemen, just give me a few minutes there before we go.
I'm afraid we have orders. Your safety restraints, please. As he says that, you get slammed like into the back of the vehicle as he just cranks the thing up, starts going through the Hive City.
I do believe these men take things a little bit too literally.
I like to imagine.
Can we talk without them hearing, or will they hear if we talk?
If you would like privacy, you can like close the divider between the two sides.
I'll just speak, like lean over and speak quietly to Antipho. Of all the preconceptions I had about humans, the inefficiency was one I didn't anticipate. The way in which you seem to complicate every single action.
Well, you know, humans are complicated creatures. I just nod sagely and just keep staring.
I like the fact that you're like both leaning over and nodding, and then you go around a corner and the both of you are like, "Ah!"
I like to imagine as I'm standing there not looking very well, and just after this phone call's ended, I look at Lycus, I'm like, "I'm guessing it wasn't the Eldar." just have a sense that it's just, I can imagine.
No, it was the business where Antipho was legally dead for a little while.
Yeah,
but it should be fixed now. They've solved my jurisdiction.
Several minutes later, the enforcer vehicle pulls into the vehicle lot, a covered garage attached to the Storm Chapel, and releases their passengers, and then returns to patrol. With the compliments of Acolyte Lycus Centauro.
I like get out of the car and I just raise my hands in a very what the fuck manner.
Cops are already gone.
Hey, I was trying to buy a tank and I get shanghaied by these two Abbates and hauled down here. What is going on?
I'll call Lycus on microbead.
What?
Oh, he's right
It's all
there.
Communicator.
Calling your cell
Communicator.
phone. Yeah.
All right, isn't he right there in
On
front
the
of
way
us?
to me, I'm
No,
guessing.
we're in a building. We're inside the
outside.
church.
Right.
We're
There,
outside.
you guys are in the church parking lot. They're inside the actual church.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yes.
I
We've
was just
just
he
been-
was in front of us. That was what the
No,
fuck thing was.
I thought it was just to the world in general, the what the fuck thing. But we've been deposited outside this place of worship. Is this where you are?
Yes. Please go inside. I'll inform you when you get inside.
I'll go open the door and whistle for him because I assume the Orbites outside are still trying to maintain order and not letting people through.
So they're in the attached. So they have a corridor they can just walk down to get to you guys.
Okay.
You know, there'll be plenty of small stained glass windows for them to pass and admire. Eshairr is getting a very quick lesson in the beauty of Imperial architecture. Skulls and scrollwork everywhere. Tiny floating mechanical skulls go right past her. Some of them even bump into her. Just boop.
But wait till she sees a
It's definitely not.
cyber cherub. Those things are creepy.
Keep in mind that my entire home is made out of bone.
Right, bone in the souls of your fallen. So
The Eldar can do macabre too.
The four of you meet up in the front end of the church.
You know, I was trying to see a man about a tank, and then I get shanghaied and hauled down here by some arbites. What is going on?
Well, currently we have important business here. Apparently, there's
I
either.
was trying to get it, but a tank.
Well, apparently it didn't work out for you at the moment because I had to pull you out of jail.
You didn't have to pull me out to jail. You could have just said, yes, I exist, and let me go, and I could have got my tank, and everyone would have been happy. But
Yes, but I needed you here because this business here is probably more serious. Now, at the moment, there has been someone coming in at nights leaving very bloody rituals, which could be the blood god, of course, or there's someone of the death cult here just doing rituals of
oh, interesting.
ill-advised.
So in the background, four girls are starting to like wipe up and mop all of the blood. They've taken the skulls and added them to the skulls in front of the Imperial Shrine.
How long has this been going on?
They said
4
for the
days.
last 4 nights.
Really? And so they keep taking skulls down, or they keep on bringing in new skulls?
I'm guessing they keep on bringing in new skulls because they seem to clean it up.
Guessing. We don't know.
Well, they're cleaning up the mess right now, so it'd be
See,
more.
ladies,
One of the Persiana comes over and says, "Yes,
you've had to clean this up before, yes?
yes, every morning. It is.
Are these new skulls? Are they?
Yes, they are.
So they were brought in from the outside.
I believe so. Yes,
And what do you do with them?
we clean them up. We take them to be tested for anything heretical, and then we add them. If these are the skulls of good Imperial citizens, there is no reason to misuse them."
Has any showed up to be
Do you
heretical?
know precisely which skulls have been used in this ritual so far?
I apologize. I do not.
I suggest you find someone who can find you that answer.
So just to be clear, this is like an 8-year-old girl that you're looming
I
over.
don't care.
Okay. She's just yes.
while he's doing this, I'm going to explain to Eshairr the plan to stake this place out, all the possible entrances, ingress points, and everything else.
Is there a reason why they haven't considered posting a guard if it's happened every single night until now?
They have a security servitor, but its records are not. It's hasn't shown anything. But I believe staking out and waiting to catch the perpetrator red-handed is our best course of action.
My
That's from-
concern is if these skulls are tainted in some manner that they haven't detected, that they might be corrupting others.
Well, the blood is poisoned. I can confirm that.
That's not good.
There is a chance that the person could be from the hive, so because the same chemicals that was with the Racklins before I've seen signs of up here. Now the other issue is I have no idea where they're gone because suddenly the tracks just disappear at a point. I don't know. It could be someone, using specific powers to be able to transport themselves somewhere else, or there's some sort of secret passage that I have not yet seen.
May I examine this
I
point?
suggest we plan for the worst and expect even worse than that.
Yes, Eshairr.
So, where is this point? I'd like to examine it.
Over here. It'll just walk you over to where the point where just the trail had stopped previously.
Okay.
I look around, see if there's anything else that I spot that they don't. Maybe my, elf detect secret door bonus.
I like that you called yourself an elf.
I was waiting for the first person to make that fucking reference.
Your special elf eyes.
All right, Legolas, let's do it.
Can I assist her?
I mean, I've got fancy vision too, but
So just to be clear, are you investigating or are you looking around? Are you making an awareness roll or are you making an investigation roll?
Probably investigating, but I if they don't mind it, I could pull out my rifle because the scope has multiple different sensor technologies that could help.
Sure, I'll let you take one on that, and I'll let you take one for, rather than assisting, I'll let you take one for Lycus's previous work,
Okay.
directing you towards where you need to go.
Okay, so that is a total of 7 successes. What was the difficulty?
5.
Okay, so shift 1 for shift 1 for more information.
Okay. You look. You are not as confined by the bounds of gravity as the rest of your teammates. For you, life in space is normal. Particular modes of transit that certain warlocks might use come to mind. I mean, you literally just watched a bunch of your people ride hover bikes into combat. So you look up where no one else did, and you can see that there are several grates up there that could be moved. You use your rifle to zoom in, and you notice that one of the grates has been thoroughly cleaned and recently moved. So while the rest have, let's be clear, they're not dirty, but there is some measure of dust, debris, just general use from no one going up there more than once a month. One of these things is pristine. It itself has been cleaned perfectly, and then the stonework that it is built into has also been cleaned.
Did anyone look up here in the vent, which has been...
Oh.
You look up, it's about 40 feet above you. For those at home, that's like 12, 14 meters.
Yeah. That's odd. Who on earth can get up there? Does I'm guessing, is it just a wall that goes up to the grate, or is it like a pillar that goes up to the grate? And
so the grate is between the two pillars.
Either it is chaos or we have how should I say it? A death cultist ninja.
might I suggest the
Pretty
use
much
of
just the death cultist, really.
a rope.
Yeah, or a rope. You're like, maybe they leaped between the two columns, and he's just like, or they lowered a rope.
The arcane technology of the Dark Age, human technology called rope.
Like it's
And
just
when
never
I say
seen
it,
a
I
rope
just
before.
deadpan it. Like I'm not even trying to be a smartass. It's just Occam's. He's just like Occam's razor. It's like just a rope, maybe.
Rope. Just look at light. Yeah.
Come on now, like you're feeling better now, Kalrak. Priam Nords. Back up to full.
The flesh is weak. For sure.
Well, don't suppose anybody has a grappling hook or perhaps able to help climb this mess. Yeah.
I do not have a grapnel, no.
I have a
It
grab
looks like
sheet.
there's plenty of structure to climb on. It'd be
Just-
easier for
I
either
can-
myself or the scout to climb up.
I'm just gonna yeet Eshairr up there, and
Did you
I
say
mean,
you have
we could literally do that. Is I just boost her up to get a good go at it. Eshairr could probably get up there.
you say you have a grav shoot?
Yeah, that's a parachute, my man.
Well, yeah, sort of like a parachute. It's just jets that fly when you get near the ground to slow you
Well,
down.
yeah. If we had a grapnel, we could climb up there. It's just literally just like a Batman style grappling hook launcher, but we don't. But I mean, I think I could
get in a
boost-
spaceship, fly over the chapel, and have
just
him
smash it
shoot
into the
on a-
chapel and disengage. I mean, do we want to? I could give Eshairr a boost, and then she can. It's probably agile enough to get up there if we want to try.
So
Alternatively, we could see if we have
we're gonna
access.
elf toss. Is it?
that. Yeah, gonna roll for you.
Instead of potentially chucking our friend up in the air and having her fall on her face, perhaps we should see if we have access to the roof that can maybe see where the
The
great.
same Progena
it
that
too.
was dispatched before by Antipho returns and says, all of the skulls were taken by our preacher, has left them in his study for care. I'm sorry, did you say something about the roof?
Lead me to them.
Possible roof
Yes, the
access.
roof.
Where
How
are
do
they
you
at?
get up on the roof?
There is roof access on the outside of the building.
Take us to it.
Excellent.
I'm sorry, you've given me two different orders.
Mine is more important than whatever.
Take them to the
Well,
roof. And
here's-
come back and take me to the where those skulls were.
I don't think it would be right to allow you to go into the preacher's office. That would be... Is this a test? Are you testing me?
Then fetch him.
Outside. He's outside buying us. Well,
After you
yeah.
take them where they need to go.
She is melting down. She looks like she's 100% paranoid that this must be some insanely complicated ethical test
I
by
hand her
a
a
teacher.
sandwich.
So she starts taking Kalrak, and who else is going outside?
I'll take Eshairr with me if
Yeah, I'll
she'll
go
go.
outside.
You
Yeah,
can
they
hear
pull
her
out of it
muttering
and
about the
start munching
significance
on
of the
it.
sandwich. She's just like, what does it mean? Is
I
it meant-
believe it is just a standard issue ration.
Are you
from
sure?
the-
I'll go.
Yes.
I'll go with Antipho to go into the priestess quarters.
Okay. We'll pick up on team outside when we return from our break. It's been a first half of the session. Things have happened. I hope that I've properly displayed how stick in the ass Imperium bureaucracy can be.
Oh yeah.
I did warn you several times that you were still listed as being dead, and you told me that you were going to resolve it, but then you never did.
So he was supposed to resolve it after the combat or
I was
whatever.
supposed to resolve it last week,
Yes, I know.
and I forgot.
Your continued failure to do so has been noted in the records of the Inquisition. Those records will continue when we return for the second half in about 8 to 10 minutes. Stick around, or else. You don't want to be judged heretically, do you, citizen?